Order 66 and the subsequent Jedi Purge, an event that would paint the Jedi as traitors to the Republic, and call for the execution of all remaining members of the Order following the Clone Wars. Although the extermination of the Jedi was largely successful due to the clones prior forming a close relationship with the Jedi, there were still members of the Order that survived the Great Purge, and today we will count down the top 7 Jedi that survived Order 66. Number 7, Jedi Master Thulm. In Legends, Thulm was among the leading Jedi investigating the mysterious second Sith Lord that had yet to reveal himself. Thulm was close to figuring out locations this Lord of the Sith had actually been, and was bent on not allowing the war to cloud his vision, persistently believing the second Sith was the key to winning the war. After Quinlan Vos had infiltrated Dooku's Dark Acolytes, the information on the second Sith was more useful than ever, as Thulm learned of confirmed locations he had visited. He was, however, saddened to hear Vos had plans to leave the Jedi due to the dark side being within him, and because he had recently had a secret son. While investigating the second Sith on Coruscant, Order 66 occurred, and Thulm was able to slip away, as he was not at the Jedi Temple, and was not accompanied by clones on his secret mission. Thulm then met up with Vos's lover and his new child. Unsure of what really had occurred, the Jedi Master then received word that more Jedi were killed by their troops across the galaxy, and it was not an isolated event on Coruscant. Thulm then learned of the newly formed Empire, and he was positive he had discovered what the second Sith he had so closely pursued had been planning all along. After reuniting with Quinlan Vos, who had survived Order 66 on Kashyyyk, the group departed into the outer regions, fearful of the new Empire and losing hope for the Jedi. Thulm eventually would die in peace of old age. Number 6, Rahm Kota. During the Clone Wars, most of the Jedi were issued clones to command in battle and serve the Republic alongside. There were some Jedi, however, that did not approve of the clone army, and believed they would never be able to match up to naturally born soldiers, and felt they lacked a connection to the Republic. Rahm Kota was a Jedi Master that held this belief. Because of this, Kota formed his own militia, comprised of soldiers from throughout the Republic, ready and willing to fight. Kota also saw that the clones were controlled too much by one force, that being Palpatine, and although he could not see it clearly, he believed the Clone Wars would bring an end to the Jedi. When Order 66 was commenced, Kota was protected due to him having no clones under his command. Feeling the death of so many Jedi, Kota determined his best bet would be to retreat into hiding and bide his time when he could return and fight the Empire. Throughout the ranks of the Empire, many believed Kota was eventually killed, but Lord Vader held a personal vendetta against the Jedi Master and held intel he had survived. After several years in the Outer Rim, Kota returned, leading several well-organized strikes against the Empire. He had heard the stories of Vader and his part in the Jedi Purge following Order 66, and wished to take him on personally. Kota and his men began frequently attacking Imperial targets valued by Vader in an attempt to draw him out. Eventually, Kota was met by a boy who was secretly Vader's apprentice. The two dueled, and the boy eventually defeated Kota. Although beaten, Kota survived, and this boy, whose name was Galen Merrick, would seek him out again, this time for his help, and together they became a key piece of the rebellion that would one day overthrow the Empire. Number 5, Kakruk. Jedi Master Kakruk was on his way to assist Master Mundi on Maigida when his ship was ambushed by separatists. In an attempt to outrun them, he ordered they jump to hyperspace with his troops and several other Jedi. Finding their way to safety, Kakruk rendezvoused with a group of other Jedi sent away from Coruscant due to the attack by Grievous that had occurred days earlier. While there, the group decided to rest. Kakruk had a long conversation with the clones under his command, hearing they were ready for the war to end, but also looking forward to having an opportunity to be involved in the last push. Just then, Order 66 was enacted, and the clones turned on the Jedi. Kakruk was able to subdue several at first, not willing to kill his men. But upon seeing several clone troopers butcher several younglings, Kakruk was thrown into a fit of rage, in which he killed the majority of his squad. He then took the remaining Jedi and younglings and fled. With the younglings, Kakruk found a tropical moon on which they called home, continuing the teaching of the younglings as Jedi, as he believed at the time they were the last remaining students of the Order. On one dreaded day, a group of bounty hunters and pirates arrived on the moon, taking all of the younglings hostage, with plans to deliver them to the Empire. Again, infuriated, Kakruk butchered the group and freed the Jedi learners. Kakruk then chose to leave the younglings in the hands of the other remaining Jedi Masters, as he had allowed his anger to overtake him and felt he set a poor example to his students. Because of this, Kakruk left in self-imposed exile, stopping in occasionally to check on his past students. Decades later, when Grandmaster Luke Skywalker rose, Kakruk surfaced from hiding, again joining the Jedi under Luke. Number 4, the Dark Woman. Anya Kuro, or the Dark Woman, was a powerful and feared Jedi Master, even by the likes of other Jedi, who saw many of her methods extreme. It was Kuro who originally was responsible for the training of Aurra Sing, who would go on to become a noted Jedi killer and hunter. During the Clone Wars, Kuro became a spy for the Republic, infiltrating Separatist bases and learning of their secrets. Over the war, the Dark Woman was not a general, as her role was infiltrating the Separatist ranks. Although her presence was felt on the battlefield, as many of her past students would become legendary battlefield commanders, such as Ki-Adi-Mundi and A'Sharad Het. Because she was not a general, when Order 66 was issued, Kuro had no clones in her proximity, and was able to flee. After the Jedi Purge, Kuro fled to a planet where she would live secluded for many years. Unfortunately, the Emperor's hand, Mara Jade, discovered the Jedi and informed the Emperor and Lord Vader of her location. At first, Mara wished to take care of Kuro, but Vader told her the Dark Woman was a prize he had long dreamt of. Vader then tracked down and descended to the Dark Woman, who told him she knew she would die this day and stood no chance, but that she would not allow the Sith to kill her without a fight. After a lengthy duel, a damaged Vader struck down the Dark Woman. Kuro momentarily appeared as a Force ghost, telling Vader he still had good in him, even if he did not want to admit it, and although he had tried, Anakin was still alive. Kuro then disappeared into the Force as an injured and furious Vader limped back to his shuttle. Number 3, Quinlan Vos. Quinlan Vos was stationed on Kashyyyk when the clones turned on the Jedi. Although he knew he was going to leave the Jedi Order to raise his son, he desired to see the Jedi through the end of the Clone Wars. While riding on top of a tank, one of the other tanks close to Vos fired on him. Although the explosion injured him a great deal, he survived and fled into the jungles of Kashyyyk. For several days, the clones hunted Vos, as he played a game of cat and mouse, killing dozens of his former troops. Eventually, a Soul Clone commander threatened a Wookiee village if Vos did not show himself. In order to save the Wookiees, Vos attacked the clone, and was just barely able to kill him due to him being severely injured at this point. After faking his death, Vos finally escaped Kashyyyk and met up with his newborn son and his son's mother. With the help of several other Jedi, including Master Tholm, the group then abandoned the Jedi Order and fled to live normal lives, as Vos promised the dark side would never seize his son. Number 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi. As seen in Revenge of the Sith, after Kenobi's clone commander Cody ordered a strike on him on Utapau, the Jedi Master survived and eventually would duel the newly anointed Darth Vader on Mustafar. After his victory, Kenobi retreated to the planet of Tatooine with Vader's own son, Luke Skywalker, in hopes of protecting the boy during the dark times that would follow. Although fairly quiet the majority of the time, Kenobi did have his fair share of confrontations after the Clone Wars. In the EU, he dueled the fallen Jedi A'Sharad Het on the desert plains, and later even battled the former Sith Maul for a final time. After many years, Obi-Wan was sought out by Luke himself, and began his training as a Jedi Knight. Only a short while later, he was struck down by Vader on the first Death Star, sacrificing himself to save Luke and his friends. Obi-Wan would then return several times as a Force ghost to aid and guide Luke down the path of the Jedi. Number 1, Grand Master Yoda. During Order 66, Yoda immediately felt the death of the Jedi around the galaxy, and the tremor in the Force that resulted because of it. Due to the drastic shift, Yoda was tipped off to the betrayal of the clone troopers and was able to hastily dispatch the clones in his close proximity. With the help of Chewbacca, Yoda was then able to escape Kashyyyk and ventured to Coruscant in a last effort to stop the rising Empire and the Sith Lord Sidious. Following his defeat at the hands of Sidious, Yoda went into exile on the planet of Dagobah, where he was confident his strong stance in the Force would be hidden due to the dark side being prevalent on the planet. While on Coruscant, Yoda had also discovered Dagobah was not in the archives, which would ensure the Empire would not likely visit the planet. In exile, Yoda would guide the Jedi Kanan Jarrus to knighthood, and his apprentice Ezra Bridger, eventually becoming the master of Luke Skywalker and training him in the Jedi way. At the age of over 900, Yoda became one with the Force, strengthening the light to the point where Luke could stand a chance against the remaining Sith, including his own father, Darth Vader. So that was, in my opinion, the top Jedi that survived Order 66. There were of course other Jedi that survived Order 66 and went on to live very different lives while being hunted by the Empire and Vader. but these were some of my favorites. So tell me what you think. Who was your favorite Jedi that survived Order 66, and why? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, maybe consider subscribing to ensure you stay up to date with everything Star Wars related. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like, as it helps the channel out a great deal. If you have any lore topics or questions you want answered or examined, do not hesitate to tweet them at me at Stupendous Wave on Twitter, or leave a comment and I will try my best to answer or make a full video dedicated to that topic. Thanks again for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.